Hey, what is up, and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Film Chronicles. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about some MCU related news. And in this episode, I decided that I wanted to do timestamps just because it kind of makes it easier to see what topics I'm talking about exactly. So let me know how you guys like that, and if it works out in the comments, that would be much appreciated. And as always, make sure you guys smash that like button, leave a comment, and if you guys are new to the channel, I always recommend that you guys subscribe. That'd be awesome. It helps everything grow. And I'm always going to be trying to put out videos now, at least weekly or semi-weekly, bi-weekly, I guess I would say. That'd probably be the better word to say. So if you guys are new here, just please do those things. It does help everything grow out. Also, check out the social media links. I have them linked there in the about section. So with that being said, guys, let's just jump right into this news. And just so you guys know, usually all the information that I look up and I kind of receive and digest and then kind of tell you guys comes from pretty reputable sources. I always go off of the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, or Deadline. I usually don't really trust a lot of the other sites that kind of say like all these crazy headlines like Craven has been casted or something like that, like unless it's reported by a pretty like big, relatively well-known trade magazine like such as those. Then that's who I would trust it pretty much, unless there's a known leaker or somebody that has had a good track record at calling things and finding out information. Then that's gonna be the stuff that I tell you guys. So that's just how I'm gonna kind of preface all this information that I have for you. So the first bit of information that I want to talk about is actually in regards to Ant-Man number 3. So we all know that they're gonna finish off this trilogy, but what they just announced pretty recently, I would say, is that they cast Jonathan Majors in the role as Kang the Conqueror. And if you are a big Marvel lover, you know that Kang the Conqueror is a pretty big Avengers level villain that causes havoc for the Avengers, for Young Avengers, the Fantastic Four. It's pretty awesome. He's a great villain, and it's a pretty cool idea to cast Jonathan Majors into this role. I'm actually meaning to check out Lovecraft County. He's kind of the main in that show, and it's supposed to be a Lovecraftian horror show, so I'm pretty down to see what that's about. But I'm excited to see this news. It means big things for the character itself and also for Ant-Man 3 as a movie. And I kind of briefly touch on what it means with having Kang the Conqueror in the MCU. I did a video on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, plus some Loki updates, because in the Loki show I think they're also going to explore Kang the Conqueror as well, just because that show's going to deal with the time variance authority and Loki skipping between different time periods. So I think that's going to play a crucial role too. But in regards to Ant-Man, I think more than anything it proves that at this point Marvel's looking to lead up to the Young Avengers eventually. So with Jonathan Majors being cast as Kang the Conqueror and that he's appearing into Ant-Man 3, that could very well lead to the possibility of seeing some versions of the Young Avengers, because we are going to have pretty much, it's not confirmed or anything yet, but I wouldn't doubt that Cassie Lang is going to be coming back and donning a suit and joining up with Ant-Man and the Wasp and becoming Stature, just like how she is in the comics, and she's a big member of the Young Avengers, and I guess that's pun intended for everybody that knows what her powers are. And also, with Kang would come Iron Lad eventually, because they are different versions of each other, since Nathaniel Richards is technically, Kang the Conqueror as well, but just in a future timeline. So that's going to be interesting to see, and I'm excited for what Ant-Man 3 can bring, only because Peyton Reed said that there's going to be different elements and stuff that he does that he didn't do with the previous Ant-Man 1 and 2. So, I've enjoyed both of those. I think they're probably some of the most underrated MCU entries. So I'm excited to see where this goes. And that's kind of all we have as far as, news, like concrete news, I would say. Because again, this is reported by the Hollywood Reporter. So yeah. And then now we're going to jump into the next segment. And be on the lookout for future videos regarding any Ant-Man news, because I will be making any videos once more announcements come. So now we're going to jump into WandaVision, actually, which is supposed to be debuting later this year, because Marvel themselves promised that we would be seeing this show by the end of 2020. So I'm very excited to see that. They did drop another trailer, so I'm going to be playing that in the background right now as I talk. So I actually did make a video on WandaVision earlier. I kind of did some early predictions and on some early news that we got, but with this trailer, it pretty much just confirms that we will be going into different time points, and it will be Scarlet Witch pretty much controlling her reality, making it as she wants it, and whenever something seems to go wrong, she's gonna immediately change it and it's gonna jump forward. So it seems like we're gonna be getting the 50s, the 60s, probably the 70s, the 80s, then the 90s, and then the current, because we'll be jumping back and forth, I'm assuming, and we do get glimpses of those different time periods, which is actually really cool to see on screen. We do see Catherine Hahn, if I'm saying her name correctly right here, as Agatha Harkness. So, well, they haven't confirmed Agatha Harkness, but in my earlier video, I did say that I'm pretty inclined to believe that she's going to be playing Agatha Harkness, and she's going to have some part in this show. As far as like the story and the plot, she's going to be central to it. And then we also get a returning character for Captain Marvel who got blasted from the reality. That would be Lieutenant Trouble from Captain Marvel, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, this trailer doesn't really give too much new information other than confirming the different time periods. Some of the main cast is going to be interacting, and kind of the other things that are going on, such as the branch reality that she created. And I'm assuming that's going to be Sword making their debut on WandaVision before they get their own TV series. It's probably going to be led by Nick Fury, since Samuel Jackson was announced to be leading a show for Disney Plus as well. So that's also some pretty big news. That pretty much confirms that Sword is going to be introduced, and that would mean that Nick Fury would be leading that. So there's going to be a lot of connective tissue laid out for phase 4, and then phase 5 going onward. So it's pretty exciting to see. We also have Miss Marvel herself casted, as that was a Disney Plus show that was announced, but now they have casted Miss Marvel herself. So I'm pretty excited to see this announcement. And she's a whole newcomer. Her name is Iman Vellani. I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing that. I'm so sorry if I am, but that's super exciting that they went to get a Pakistani actress to portray Miss Marvel, as that's important to the character herself in the comics. And that's awesome. There's that representation. So kudos to Marvel and Disney for going out of their way to do that and get the right person for the role. We also have other people that are pretty excited about this, such as like fellow co-star that's more than likely going to be crossing over. It's going to be and that would be Kumail Nanjiani. Again, if I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry, but he's going to be in the Eternals, so that's pretty exciting to hear. So yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps up what I have in regards to the MCU. I was going to put in some Spider-Man updates, but I'm going to save that for a different video that I'll release after this video. So, thank you for watching this one. But as we kind of go on through the year and, more delays are announced, we'll be getting more information about more, movies, more castings, just so that way that, they don't lose their interest with the fans, because, the delays are kind of affecting a lot of people's enthusiasm for the films, I would say. It's happening on the other end with DC and Wonder Woman 1984. So, fingers crossed that things, get better and we're able to go back to, seeing these movies and all this stuff. But, with that being said, I'll try to report on all the information that I come across to keep, you and myself excited, because this information is exciting to hear, even if we don't have anything yet. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And again, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. And as always, please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if you're new here and you sat through this. And thank you guys so much for powering through it with me. And make sure to be on the lookout for that second video. It'll be up later today.